that one time you called the person you swore you'd never contact again? My daughter Autumn came home from school on a Thursday with her backpack on backwards and her shoelaces untied. She walked past me without saying hello, went straight to her room, and I heard the lock click. That wasn't like her. Autumn was 14 and normally complained about homework or asked what was for dinner before disappearing into her cave. I gave her 20 minutes before knocking. Sweetie, everything okay? The silence lasted so long I almost walked away. Then I heard her voice, small and broken in a way that made my chest tighten. Mom, can you make mac and cheese? The kind from the box, not the fancy kind. I made it exactly how she liked it. Extra butter and a little milk to make it creamy. She came out when I called her, sat at the kitchen table, and picked at the bowl without eating. Her hands were shaking. The fork kept missing her mouth. After watching her push the same noodle around for 5 minutes, I put my hand over hers. Talk to me. What happened today? She looked up with tears already streaming down her face. Mom, something happened at school. I think I'm supposed to tell you, but I don't know how. The story came out in pieces over the next hour while the mac and cheese went cold. Dr. Philip Gaines, the school psychologist everyone loved, had called Autumn into his office during third period. He said her teachers were concerned about her anxiety levels and wanted to do a wellness check. Autumn thought it was normal because she'd been stressed about her geometry grade and her friend group drama. Dr. Gaines closed the door, locked it, and told her that sometimes physical release helps with stress. He made her sit on his lap while he asked questions about her home life, his hands moving places they shouldn't. When she tried to stand up, he held her there and said this was part of the therapy process, that she needed to trust him. He told her if she mentioned this to anyone, they'd think she was lying because he was a respected professional with 20 years of experience. Everyone would believe him over a teenage girl with anxiety issues. He'd already documented her mental health concerns in her file, which meant anything she said would sound like teenage drama or attention seeking. The session lasted 30 minutes. He gave her a hall pass that said she'd been discussing academic stress. I spent that night throwing up in the bathroom while Autumn slept, or pretended to sleep, in her room. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I kept seeing her face when she described what happened. The shame and confusion and fear all mixed together. How could I have sent her to school every day thinking she was safe? How could I have trusted the system to protect her when monsters were hiding behind credentials and office doors? The next morning, I called the school and asked to speak with Principal Novak. She had me come in immediately, ushered me into her office with concerned efficiency, and listened while I repeated what Autumn had told me. Her face went through several expressions: sympathy, shock, discomfort, before settling on something that looked like carefully managed doubt. Mrs. Castellano, I understand you're upset, but Dr. Gaines is one of our most valued staff members. He's helped hundreds of students over the years. Are you sure Autumn isn't misinterpreting what happened? Sometimes teenagers dramatize situations when they're going through emotional periods. I felt my face get hot. My daughter is not dramatic. She's terrified. She told me details that no child should know. This man assaulted her in your school, in his office, during school hours. Principal Novak's expression shifted to something colder, more administrative. I appreciate your concern, but we have protocols for these situations. I'll need to investigate this thoroughly before taking any action. Making accusations against a staff member is serious. Dr. Gaines has an impeccable reputation. Without concrete evidence, this becomes a he said, she said situation. And frankly, Autumn does have documented anxiety issues that could affect her perception of events. I stood up so fast my chair fell backwards. You're not going to do anything. You're going to protect him because he's been here 20 years and my daughter is just a kid with anxiety. Principal Novak stood too, her professional mask firmly in place. I'm protecting the integrity of this institution. I'll speak with Dr. Gaines, review the situation, and follow proper procedures, but I will not ruin a man's career based on unsubstantiated claims from a student with known mental health issues. I left her office shaking with rage and went straight to the police station. Officer Brennan took my statement with the kind of exhausted patience that suggested he'd heard similar stories before. He wrote everything down, asked detailed questions that made me sick to answer, and finally closed his notebook with a sigh. Here's the reality, ma'am. Your daughter is a minor, there were no witnesses, and Dr. Gaines is a respected professional. These cases are incredibly difficult to prove. It's your word and your daughter's word against his reputation and credentials. But she told me what happened. She's not lying. I can see it in her eyes. She's traumatized. Officer Brennan's expression was sympathetic but unhelpful. I believe you believe her. But the district attorney won't touch a case like this without physical evidence or multiple victims. Even then, conviction rates are low. These predators are smart. They choose victims carefully and create plausible deniability. My advice? Find a lawyer, document everything, and prepare for a long fight. But I had completely different plans, much worse ones. To see what I did next, click the link below or go on my channel.